So I made this with the fuel crisis in mind and heating the home. And basically what it is, it's using candles, just ordinary tea lights at the moment. Underneath, on the bottom underneath, is an old desktop computer fan, which is basically hooked up to a 12 volt plug. So it's car battery size basically. And the fan is sucking air in through little vents at the bottom, and it's blowing that air up. And the tea lights are basically sat in a brass dish, and under that brass dish it's sat on a baffle plate with holes in it, allowing the air to flow around and up. So the heat coming from the candles, the air is warmed up and pushed up to the top, which some of it's coming out the top, the heat, and most of it is circulating inside the top part of the heater, which was a ceiling light pendant, a metal one, which I've converted, as you can see, to catch the heat and flow it out around all the sides as well. So a little bit at the top of the heat goes through the top, but most of it is flowing because of the fan through and around and underneath and out of the pendant. 12 volts, that's it. And then to make it look aesthetically pleasing, I've painted it black. But yeah, so I can go to the top and you can see the tea lights there, like that. And then inside the stainless cylinder, because it was an old stainless fire extinguisher, there's no lining inside plastic, because normally the red fire extinguishers have plastic liners in. Don't use them, because obviously the fire risk itself with a plastic. Stainless doesn't rust at room temperature, so it doesn't need one, which basically is an ideal container for these. Now, I've used candles, tea lights. I would not recommend at all using anything but candles. You know, some people might be tempted to use paraffin or whatever. Don't do it. Leave it as it is and use candles only to heat the inside of the cylinder. The top detaches from the bottom on, I don't know whether you can see them or not, little small brackets there that it sits on, so it can easily be taken off and cleaned. And then the actual power point is an old, what do you call them? An old, well, basically it's part of, or what was, an adapter to reduce the power. So that's basically going to 12 volts from 240, which what I did was I just wired the fan and that together and then soldered the wires and then covered them with insulation tape. So all you're using basically is just 12 volts, that's it, to power it. Not 240, 12 volts. And I can feel the heat coming out of that now, and it will heat a room just like the one we're in, you know, quite easily, I would think. But I'm trying this right now to find out for certain. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you, see what you think. Cheers.